Welcome to the show, everyone. I love this show. I really do. I say it a lot. And the reason why I love my show so much is because of all of the information that people get from listening to the show. My first guest has been on with me a long time. I now have with me Ken Kilday. He's the owner of Leaders Cut. He is an executive business coach and you're a certified coach. And I want you first to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and why a certified makes you so stand out, right,
Sure.
than amongst any others that are there. And also today we're going to talk about your academy that we're going to be giving away.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, Carol. Yeah, as someone who worked in executive leadership and then started his own business, I understand how sometimes it can be a little isolating at first, especially as we ramp up a business. But then once we get going, we're sort of still trying to wear every hat. Even though it was our work ethic that got us there, it would be nice to have someone to support us, have that objective coach, not telling us how to play the game, but telling us how we are playing the game and how we can make a little bit more out of our natural gifts. So that's why I started my own coaching practice 8 years ago, 7 years ago, excuse me. 7 years ago. And part of that journey is getting one of my main certifications, the Professional Certified Coach from the International Coaching Federation. And what that tells people who decide if they're in the market for a coach is not only do I have a background that may resonate with you, but I've also gone to the effort of doing my coursework, proving through being tested on my coursework that I paid attention to it and everything. I had to document 500 coaching hours. I needed to submit, with their permission, calls with real clients to be evaluated by master coaches, and that's what led to my certification. So it's a way, anyone can call themselves a coach. This gives current and future clients a little bit of understanding of that I'm credible in this space.
You've said it before that anybody can call themselves a coach, but not everybody's certified.
That's correct. Yeah, not anybody. Anyone can call themselves a coach. Not everyone is a professional certified coach.
Now the academy. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So I put together a lot of information and resources for people, for business owners and leaders to take a look at, to get a flavor for what coaching is, to help them with whatever it is they may be challenged with in their business. Usually business owners and leaders have at least one thing that they're working to get better at. And that all started with the book, the 6 Silver Bullets to Growing a Business Fast, or those 6 big mistakes business owners make. And then that leads into the academy, which then breaks those 6 elements into 21 separate lessons. And that is a subscription service, but for the listeners of your show, you're covering that, and they'll get it for free if they call in today.
So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. And I'm going to keep the lines open for the rest of the show for everyone to call in and get this. And I'm telling you right now, first of all, the book, it started with the book, 23 minutes, that's all it takes to, if you want to read it through like that, you don't have to. But everybody who's a business owner or in management in any way really ought to take a look at this and see what we're talking about here. You can check him out on his website, which is makingthecut.biz, and go up there. You're going to see all of the things. You're going to get a lot free, because you like to give it all away,
Sure.
except the academy. But if you call me here at the station, you are going to get it for free. So 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Last time, and I think the time before that, we kind of ended on something that I like to start with first.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, like you said, everybody struggles with something. And everybody struggles with time. Everybody. So I thought we would start off with that.
So with time, we all get the same 168 hours a week. So the only difference between somebody who is focused on putting the right amount of time in the business and at home and in their wellness, they're very intentional about it. I think sometimes people use time not only as an excuse, we've certainly all done that, myself included, But what they do is they treat it as variable when it's a constant. Time is constant. It's the one thing you can't replace it. It expires. Every single minute is expiring your time. So here's what I mean by that is sometimes we approach, especially our own businesses, or even when we're in leadership running a business in a corporation, we always think to ourselves, well, I can always just work late. I can always just work late. And by definition, that's going to pull away from something else, right? It's like a budget of anything, except with monetary budgets, we really can make more. But with time, we really cannot make more. So we reverse, a lot of my coachings reverse that thinking, and we allow ourselves a certain amount of time to complete something in full, and to the best of your ability, and then we move on, and we keep moving on. And shifting how we think about time will change everything for you.
Well, the other thing that we talk a lot about too is how each business owner, whether they're a solopreneur like me, on up, they all have similar or very much the same different things that they do, but they're just wearing different hats, right? And let's talk a little bit about that.
About the different hats?
Sure.
I mean, when we start a business, even if you're starting with a partner and maybe you have a small staff, each person really is doing multiple things. And as we move forward, what we want to do for business owners, the way coaching works for many, is we want to take all those amazing ideas in your head, all the processes that make your business different and better, and we want to turn that into SOPs, right? This is how everyone does business. We want we want your core values out of your brain, and we want to articulate them and say what they mean and where they came from, and then we use those to hire. We use those to guide and train, and in all of our decision making. Once that magic gets out of your head and onto paper, everyone can follow that. Fast forward, then we start assigning like roles to people. They know what their seat on the bus is, if you will. And that means that you know exactly what success looks like, you know exactly how it's measured, you know exactly what you get to do, which is the true meaning of accountability. And then we get into the first obstacle, which is letting them.
That's a huge obstacle, and everyone has that problem.
Yeah, at some point, the owner the founder usually gets just a little, they get that moment of stomachache of, well, they're not doing it the way I thought. And that's never the point. How they do it is not important. What they do, connected to your core values, is the important part. And almost always, I'm working with several right now, they're confronting fear, right? There's those cycles of business that sometimes we're planting the crop and sometimes we're harvesting. And we're never quite sure, long before the harvest is growing season, we're really not sure what's taking root. And that can be scary for business owners.
Yeah, we have to let go.
Right.
Right.
I mean, need we say more than you have to make payroll? And it's a legitimate, real concern. Unfortunately, it leads to a lot of micromanagement, shall we say, in the business.
And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about what you talked about, how you are there not to tell them what to do, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that and how important it is when you're listening to these things. Maybe it's you or someone that, go up onto that website, go up and check it out, because you're going to love what you see. A lot that you get for free there. And then, of course, you're going to see the Academy. The Academy does cost money, but you're going to get it for free by calling me here. And the website is makingthecut.biz. And then you can call here at 602-277-5369. And toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute.
The first one goes fastest.
I know, that's because I talked for a couple of minutes. But I don't think I went that long. But anyway, yeah. I don't know why it does that, but...
Perception.
Yes, and then, so, okay, anything that you want to get to that I am not, and anything in any way, I just want to make sure.
We're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're vibing.
Yeah, I like that. It's perfect for this coming year,
Right.
this time of year.
I was speaking to a leader, not one of my clients. She has a strong HR executive background, and I'm checking in with her because a lot of my clients talk about how hard it is to hire, how hard it is to retain it. And like it seems to continue to get even more challenging as the newest generation that's entering the workforce is experiencing things even more differently. So how do we encounter that?
You want to talk about that?
We could if you, yeah, it's a people.
Hiring?
Hiring, yeah.
You know,
it's the
I
hiring.
think what's
hiring
really
leadership.
Hiring what?
Hiring and leadership, how you lead them. Anyone can hire them, but how are you going to train them? How are you going to get them to come to work? How are you going to get them not to wear flip-flops?
They don't want to.
How are you going to get them to put the phone down? How are you going to get the earbuds out?
Yeah, it is quite different.
Really different.
And I don't think I would want to be in that position. What's that?
What are you going to say when they bring mom to the interview?
Oh, that's funny.
It's happening. You're looking at me like I didn't make that up. That is happening. It's okay if I bring my mom to the interview.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I think my children are just below that generation. You know.
Yeah, your kids are probably millennials.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, as saying they sometimes exhibit some of the same things, though. I will tell you, because it rubs off on them, right?
Sure.
But it's very interesting. I remember right out of COVID with a lot of people saying how hard it was for people to be able to hire. But now they're they don't want to even be at your work. They want to work virtually, most of them, you know. They just don't, they want hybrid or whatever.
Yeah, actually the leader I was speaking with, she called that, she referenced COVID made HR even more difficult than it already can be. And she said we get into it, a lot of it was Twinkie stealing, right? People, that's their big concern. You took my Twinkie. I had it, you know, in other words, I hadn't, and it's not that issue, but you're not getting what I'm saying.
I guess like they're being babies?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I had my lunch in the lunchbox.
Yeah.
That's your big issue?
Yeah, well,
and worse,
see,
they document it on company email, so.
that's unbelievable. Yeah. Oh my God.
Which creates issues depending on.
Must be very difficult for someone like you, who, you know, executive coaching is, you don't want to do, I wouldn't want to.
No, it's cascades, but it's, if I have a founder, this is bubbling in their company.
And you have to deal with that.
It's like, hey, how are we going to grow? Well, we're trying to hire these
Younger
but
people.
we can't because.
Yeah, here we go. So welcome back, everyone. We've got our lines open here for everyone to get this academy that is awesome. You get so much with everything, right? And whether it's the book or you have the calculator, that you have. I mean, there's so much. Oh, and I love that because a lot of when you go up on there onto his website, which is makingthecut.biz, and you see all this, you get to use it. It's had an interactive thing.
It is. So as a profit equation calculator, again, busy founders, business leaders, you have a lot of time, so you can jump in where you need to. But the profit equation calculator is designed to show you where you are, using several elements of profit, and then what happens if you make some subtle but small changes. The bottom line change is rather dramatic, which is to drive home the point that small changes applied consistently over time produce big results.
It's amazing. It's people it seems so simple, right? But when you do it, it becomes simple.
Well, yeah, simple, maybe not easy to shift your own behavior. So, if you've run a company, you know that sometimes, maybe you've uttered to yourself, I hope, gosh, if everyone just do what I told them, things would be just fine. But the reality is the only one that we can really, it's hard enough to change ourselves, so I don't know why people think they're going to be able to change someone else. The other side of that is we have to role model change. So if you, the owner, the leader, are not making the small changes and role modeling what that looks like, it's not fair to expect anyone else in the organization to do the same.
Well, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered. Well, they're going to get the academy for free by calling me, and our number here is 602-277-5369. You're going to love it that you do it. I mean, you go up onto the website, makingthecut.biz. At the break, we were talking about hiring. And leadership, and let's talk about that, because I don't realize I don't hire that many people, right? So I don't understand that much, but you know and work with people people that do that, and it's very difficult today.
It's very difficult. It continues. The challenges are new and different, which is why they feel difficult. Of hiring, especially your newer generations coming into the workforce, and even if you are running the business and you're not the one hiring that generation, somebody on your team likely is. Somebody is hiring entry-level positions, and that's where you're going to see the youngest generation. They were raised in a different universe, they think differently, and we're already starting to see the data. And I mentioned I had been talking to an HR executive, not a client of mine, but an HR executive who was telling me, especially through COVID, it's becoming apparent just how different the generation is, and we have some newer challenges. So they're not coming to work with the same kind of work skills that maybe Carol, your and my parents probably beat into us. And it's only I don't mean that metaphorically. It was
kind of, but anyway.
Anyway, beside the point, different world we lived in. I saw a data point the other day. Almost half aren't understanding that being on time is important and why that's important. And you can't wear your earphones all day at work. You have to take those out and interact with people, and you can't be available on your device all day. You have to be available to the company. And there's a certain way, depending on what your function is, you dress a certain way for a certain role, and that has to be explained. So some of those things that maybe our parents told us from the outset aren't communicated now, and that's now the employers.
Yeah, it's hard to do when you don't even understand it yourself.
Sure, and the other point that she was making to me is that, and we're also getting people of our generation, we don't want to misstep. We don't want to say the wrong thing and make it worse, right? We understand we can't, or it doesn't get us the result we want when we speak to 3 generations below us in the way that our parents spoke to us. That's not perceived the same way.
No. Oh my God, I've learned that just through
the hard way.
And it is the hard way, because you might as well just zip it up and just sit there, and listen and not say a word.
Yeah. It's different, so that's another challenge. So there's a whole section in the book, there's a section in the Academy on hiring, and really getting methodical about a process for hiring. And rather than us, sure, we're commiserating a little bit about what the challenge is, but getting really clear-eyed about how are you going to find the diamond in the rough that is going to be the future of your company. Because if you're going to grow, likely your company needs people, and you're going to have people of all generations.
You're going to have to look for a lot of diamonds.
A lot of diamonds, or this is sort of one of those misperceptions I encounter all the time. Is clients will say, they don't say it like this, but they're looking for younger people because they think those people will stay with them longer, and so therefore their investment in them will have a higher return. And the reality is that people of our generation are much more likely, even though we're later in career, as they say, people in our generation will actually probably stay longer than some of the youngest people that you're trying to hire, simply because we think about work differently, we're rewarded differently. And for a lot of people late in career, they're no longer looking to climb any ladder. They're looking to be part of something, and you may have to take a little extra time to show us technology, although I'm pretty good with it. But for our generation, if you take a little time on the front end, I'll tell you what, we'll show up early, we'll be dressed right, we'll do the job every day, we'll take as many people with us, we'll mentor if you'd like us to. It's how our parents raised us.
Right.
So I encourage my founders to take a broad look at their employment pool and design the process that's going to help people come into their culture, to be great culture fits, to get a really good idea of how that person will fit, and then you can teach skill. But
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, you can teach skill, but you can't teach will. They either come with it or they don't.
But I can say, if you see any potential, I think it would be awesome for you to take them under their wings and under your wings, and to teach them.
Sure. Yeah. And that's creating that workforce of mentors and mentees, people that want to work together. Our generation and the boomers who are still working, the young boomers, we want to help younger people learn and grow and be successful, and we're happy to do it. So if you, again, it's that hiring process. So when you're in the midst of the material that I have in there, you'll see a lot of it is it's about defining and articulating what's important to you, not me telling you, which we said earlier in the show. It's not about me telling you what you need. It's about helping advocate, support, and give you objective observations about how you are playing compared to what you say you want to be doing, playing the game of business.
Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. I'm letting everyone call throughout the rest of the show for everyone to get this academy for free. Go up onto the website. It's makingthecut.biz. You're going to see a lot there. You're going to see the book. You're going to see the calculator. You're going to see everything that you give them for free except the academies. But the academy is free when you call me at 602-277-5369. I implore everyone to go up onto his website. You're going to love it that you did that. It's makingthecut.biz. And before we go to a break, I do want to mention that one of the things that you also talk about in your book, we're going back to that, is that people should start with the end in mind.
Yes.
And even from the beginning. And there's a lot of people that are starting side hustles and all sorts of type of businesses that are growing into something that becomes their own business now, right? So I want to talk a little bit about that before we go to a break.
Yeah, it's what Covey taught us in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We start with the end in mind. We have a clear plan. And in business, that means what's the end stage? So I know you might be on launch day or launch year or really early in the practice, but what would you like to do with this business? Would you like to sell it to a big corporation? Would you like one of your kids or relatives to run it when you decide to retire, or if you should pass early? Do you want to sell it to the employees, which can also happen? Knowing what you'd like to do with it creates some of the coaching plan, right? So that we can have the future in mind when we make decisions today. It has to be connected. A lot of us start businesses without thinking through, what do we want to do with this business someday?
Well, yeah, of course. We just start it and then we go.
Just get going. What are you going to do with it? I don't know. I need to get it going first.
Yeah.
Right? We always have that, well, it needs to be 10% bigger, or this needs to happen, or that needs to happen. But that end state, it's just like when I was in financial planning. We start with the end state, and we back up to, how many dollars do we save every day to make the end state possible? Same thing in business.
Call in here and get this academy for free. You're going to love it that you did that. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Check out his website. It's makingthecut.biz. Heartbreak. Yeah.
Heartbreak.
Heartbreak. Let's see.
Not heart to break.
No, hard.
It's enough heartbreak in the end.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking that it's hard. How's that?
Yeah.
I also want to talk about going at your own pace.
Yeah.
Okay. Is anything else in that you want to talk about at all?
In what?
Within. Yeah. What?
You said anything else in there? What do you?
Wait. I said I want to talk about your own pace and how to use it. You know what I mean? Maybe how to use it so. The material.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. You mean don't read it, throw it on a shelf to get dusty? I said don't read it,
don't do
throw it
that.
on a shelf to get dusty. Which is what we used to joke about financial plans. I can produce a beautiful binder for you, but if you don't do anything with it.
Yeah. What is it? I guess that could be very, I listened, I like Bob Proctor quite a bit.
That name's familiar. I know I've heard of it.
Oh, absolutely you have. He's a leadership. He's a coach.
Okay.
Bob Proctor. Change your paradigm, change your life.
Oh.
Yeah, you know who he is. And anyway, now I forgot what I was going to say about him. What was it going to be? Oh my gosh.
Action, taking action, maybe.
It was something you were talking about. Okay, now I got it. I'm showing my age.
That will come around like,
Oh my goodness.
that's funny. What happened that day?
I don't remember. It was nothing. It was something I must have been talking too much. I don't know. I must have.
I sent that post-it to one of my sisters.
That's really funny. Oh. But he, of course, goes now. He came from the Napoleon Hills and all that kind of thing, and it was all about repetition, and it's true. It's true about that. I should even reread your book because I have it, and you know that's a my bad type of thing, you know.
Well, and we see it with fresh eyes, right? It's
every time you read it.
I read it, I hear it, something else pops up like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I read it again, and I'm like, nice.
Right.
That's
it's amazing.
Yeah, school always worked for me. I kind of browsed through the pre-read, listened to the lecture, made more sense to us.
Yeah.
And then I would reread it. I'm like, okay, now I understand what to do with it. Plus, when I was in college, I also had the benefit of I was working in business, and I had a job that I was responsible for P&L back then, even in my 20s, from early 20 on. And so everything would come together, right? There was the information, the lecture, and then practical application. Well, that's what all of this material is.
Taking action.
It's applying application.
Applied application.
Yeah. A frame I heard the other day I've been using of asking clients, especially when I'm first working with them, where's the tension? Where's the tension? And where's your attention?
That's very good. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
I like
tension
that.
and attention.
Okay, so say it again.
Tension.
Oh, tension.
Tension.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Tension.
Okay, yeah.
Where are you feeling tension in the business?
Okay.
And where are you putting your attention?
Okay, got it. I got it. Okay, yeah, because you know what, I mean, and I guess we're doing it to ourselves, the tension.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. It's usually based in fear. Oh, I'm just afraid if I let them.
You hold on to it.
Right. We hold on to it. Then the other person's like, you know what? You just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll just do that. And
that's
so you
very
get
true.
no innovation, and then and if that's your best people, right? That's your best people.
If they're willing to listen.
No, but here's where I'm going. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the listen. You micromanage your best people, and they do this. They're looking for something else.
Oh God, yeah.
And then you get the people that don't listen.
I love talking. I do. I talk to a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
And no, but it's fun at the break when we're talking. And we are live on Facebook, so I should say hi to everybody out there. We've been live all this time. And you know, but when especially you, Ken, we've been on so many times, and I just and you know, I was going to say this to you right at the break, and then we started talking about something else, and I had forgotten about what I was going to say. But one of the things about repetition, you know, it's every time you come on my show, on this show, I learn something every single time.
About yourself.
About myself. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not the teacher. I'm not. There we go.
Yeah, that sounded weird.
Yeah, like I was on your mic, not mine.
Yeah,
but I'm
okay.
here. So I'm not teaching you. I'm helping you with your own self-awareness.
Right.
I'm creating moments for you to self-realize, and that's what coaching is. It's not me telling you how to run your business. It's not about me being an expert in your business. It's about creating and evoking awareness. And once you're in awareness, then you get to be in choice. And once you're in choice, you can choose to change or not. But yeah, we were off on a couple of really good topics during break.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about those, but I do want to give out the number here so that people can call in, because you're going to love that you called in to get his academy. He gives a lot for free already right up there on the website. So, but the academy does cost money. Don't pay for it. All you have to do is call me here at 602-277-5369. Call in here and you're going to get it for free. Just go up onto the website. It's makingthecut.biz, and you're going to just see all of the things that we've been talking about here, and that academy where it says there's a price for that. Don't pay, just call me.
Yeah, it's a subscription, but Carol's got you covered if you'll just call us.
Now, at the break, we were talking about where people put the tension.
And where is the tension?
Where is the tension, and where you're putting your attention.
Right. So when I'm first getting to know somebody, or even if we're encountering some sort of issue, I always want to know where's the tension right now. Well, the tension's in operations, the tension's in sales, the tension's in finance. Where's the tension, like specifically? What's got you scared? And then where are you placing your attention? And where I was going with that is sometimes when we're in fear-based tension, we start placing our attention in places that are unhealthy in the business. Meaning all of a sudden, me, founder, think I've suddenly become brilliant, and even though I've grown for 10 years, now I know what everyone else's job is better than they do. And I start putting my attention on their process and their goals and their focus. And the unintended consequence of that is your best people will start to throw their hands in the air, cry uncle, like, fine, if you're gonna micromanage me, I'll just do what you want. So no more innovation, no more thoughtfulness, no more of those things. So owner, you're operating in fear. You've decided now your attention's going to be on everyone else but yourself. So attention away from the one person that you can change, you, to everyone else that you can't change. You're going to frustrate your very best people, and there's some people that will leave. And then you're left with the mediocre, who are happy to be told exactly what to do. They'll do no more and no less if that's all they're going to do, so your innovation leaves. So the tension that you're feeling in finance becomes, which is negative. The negative tension becomes negative attention. Positive tension becomes positive attention.
Well, I'll tell you something. Like I said, I learn something every single time you come on. And, we also talked a little bit about repetition and applied application. Okay, and I think that was important to talk about that, because I even have a culprit of my own. I said, you need to read a book more than one time.
Sure.
Right? And every time you read it, you get something else out of it.
You have a new awareness or a new way to apply the information.
Something you didn't see before.
Right, yeah, exactly, which is come from, in my experience, it was, my lived experience. Somebody that worked through college. I worked in business. I was responsible for P&L even in my early 20s, and in business school. So I would read my text, which was just more of a review the text, go to lecture. Oh, okay, now I understand it. Read the text again to seal what I've learned, and then I go to work and I get to apply what I've learned. And that's something that was really fortunate for me that not all of my counterparts had or have. We kind of segregate. We do all the schooling and then we go work. And I got to do both at the same time, which means I learned why we learned certain things in business, went to a real business with a professional in the business who was mentoring me, who wanted me to understand those things that I was learning. What does that look like every single day to run a multi-million dollar
And
business?
now you teach that.
And now I
call it a
guide
guide.
more than teach. Yeah.
Okay.
But I guide others with making intentional choices about their business. Nothing in your business is accidental. Everything is a decision you make, or it's because of a decision you wouldn't make.
So many people, they go to these seminars and pay probably a good penny.
Oh, sure.
Right, for it, and they're right in there for like maybe even a week, maybe shorter. They're really all gung-ho, and then from what they learned, and then like 3 days later they go right back in to their old patterns, right? And you need to look at all of this and listen to what we're talking about. Even this, it's okay to be repetitive, because we need it.
Yeah, that's how you get really you're practicing something not to get it right, but so that you can't possibly get it wrong. It's just part of your DNA.
Mm.
That's why we start with that profit equation calculator of sealing the small actions that you're doing that do have a huge impact to your business, that are positive, and then some of the things that with a slight adjustment could be even better for you if you just did them every single day. And that's why coaching works, because it helps advocate and support that small change over the course of time.
Well, I'll tell you something. Every business, small or large, could benefit by what you bring to them. And so we want you to go up onto their website, which is makingthecut.biz, and we want you to, enjoy it, because that's what you want to do. And by the way, everything that you do gets you closer and closer to Ken, right? If I put it that way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, throughout all the material, the material, is one of those. I give it away because that's not the essence of coaching. You could go on YouTube and get 99.99% of what I talk about for free, and you still won't have a coach with you in the real world of playing the game of business.
So at any time, you can either text him or call him and reach out to him and have a conversation with him and find out, are you right for one another? Because that's
Sure.
another part of all of this, But you do not, you're not about hounding anyone in any way.
No.
We've talked a little bit about that before.
Yeah, I've never. I think in my profession, a hard close, if you will, if you do sales, a hard close would never work. I'm not an impulse purchase. And coaching is not an impulse purchase. So that's just never going to work. What will work is, a chemistry call. Are we do we jive? Next, we do the breakthrough strategy session, a full coaching call from soup to nuts, profiling, long conversation. This is what coaching looks like, feels like, and some likely outcomes that you could get out of it. And by the end of that, you're going to know, do you want to coach? Am I that coach?
And go ahead.
You'll know by the end of that. So, and then the only question for you is, the working in your own budget for coaching.
Right, and I want you to also say really quickly, because we have a couple of minutes here before we go to another break, and that is how when you don't, your contracts are not like, you're not. Talk a bit about them.
Sure. So there's not usually people. How long do people
Right,
coach?
exactly.
On the long end, I've had the clients for 5 years. Other clients have done very specific contracts with a very specific type of outcome for 6 months. Either way, I'm flexible. So if people are worried about getting locked in, I don't do that. The ROI is going to be dependent on your effort. My industry says it's 5 to 7 times ROI on the coaching fee. My clients after the first year usually hit 10 or better, 10x or better, because they're doing the work.
Yeah, and you know what? The way that you work with people, I like it because you are again, you're not telling them what to do. You're right there, just kind of. You've said it before when if you're a golfer, how they. Okay, go ahead.
It's how you hold the club, right? So I'm not gonna swing the club for you. I will tell you that if you move your elbow up about 1 inch, you get better distance on your drive, or better yet, you knock a stroke off your putt, and that's worth millions of dollars to a golfer.
Go up onto that website. It's makingthecut.biz and call in here and get that academy for me for free. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He gives so much away. You're going to see, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get into it and kind of work with it in just a minute. Again, 602-277-5369.
Sweet.
All the way to the end, and I think this would be a really good one right there, kind of just talking, if you think so too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure, because I think people,
Yeah, I mean, how do I use it? I'm going to get in there, and I think
they get there, I won't have time to do it. I won't have time again.
Right, that time comes
It's
up
gonna
all the
push
time
me.
at the end.
It always does.
Yeah. And it goes by so fast. I can't can't believe the hour's almost up. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how people come on for 15 minutes. What do you say in 15 minutes? That's a
People,
one.
a lot of people that like, they'll try that first, and then they always come back and do the 30 usually. It just depends. Most people think that 15 is a long time because they don't realize it's not really 15.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
They don't
9
understand.
minutes.
But, you know, or they think that they can do it. I can do it in 15. So I always say, okay, you know, see you again. It's true though.
You gotta let people figure it out.
Funny one that I did for 45 minutes was a woman who owned a pizzeria in Glendale.
Sounds delicious.
Anyway, what we did was we opened it up to the lines in the audience for everyone to call in and say, how do you like to eat your pizza? Do you want it? Do you like the fully? Do you like deep dish? Whatever it was. And they would all call in, and she gave a slice of pizza and a soda to everyone that called in. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
45 minutes.
Everyone likes pizza.
Yeah.
Everyone likes pizza.
That is a really good t-shirt or book.
What? Everyone likes pizza.
Yeah, you got the name. Go for it.
Yeah.
Something else you said that would be a really good book, and I can't remember what you said. I'll think about it. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Ken Kilday. He's the owner of Leaders Cut, and we've been talking a little bit about his academy that he does give away to everyone through here by calling me. And I want one thing we were talking about at the Heartbreak was that we were talking a little bit about how do people, maybe they want to know, how do we go about doing all this, getting in and getting involved with it?
The pace. Yeah, it's and I can't stress this enough. We move at your pace, not my pace. I don't have an agenda for how quickly you want to get to a particular result. You determine that. But what we decide is what pace is going to work for you. How do you want to digest the information? And that's why the academy and the book are both designed not necessarily for you to go from 1 to 6 or from 1 to 21. It's you start wherever you are.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do. I was speaking to a prospective client, and he said, well, there's a lot of flux going on in the company right now. I'm not sure if now's the right time for coaching. I thought I'd wait till those things get settled out, figure out what I'm going to do about it, and then maybe we can talk about coaching. And so we reversed it, said that's actually exactly what coaching is. It's exactly that. It's exactly designed to help you through the variable and the unpredictable and the chaos, and to bring clarity, right? To take a look at that objectively and determine what you're trying to do, but we're going to move at their pace when we do it.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of people say that. A lot of people say, I'm so busy right now, I can't do that.
Sure.
Well, you know what, sometimes that's the best time to make that call.
Yeah, it's the best time. And here's why. You're waiting for something to occur that has never happened. So my question is always, if the answer is, hey, maybe in 3 months, okay, well, what is different? What do you foresee being different in 3 months than now? Like, how are you going to have more time in 3 months or 6 months than
What's going to be different for them now than today?
Exactly. So.
And what is nothing?
Nothing. It's usually nothing, which means time is not the objection. It's sort of like when people, when we're talking about affordability or price, it's, is price the most important thing? So I always use a car analogy, and I usually ask people what they drive, and it's never the most cost-effective vehicle, right? If you look at resale and quality of build and safety and insurance and all of it that makes a car, how much a car actually costs to own and drive and have, that's not the one that we only drive, because there's other things that are more important than price. So it's really getting to the heart of what's really getting in your way. Like, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid is going to happen if you start coaching and it works? Then what?
Then it usually, what?
Yeah.
I would think that usually.
Oh, you're
it falls-
surprised because you think people are afraid of failing. People are afraid of succeeding. They're not afraid of failing.
Why is that? Why is it when you say that they're, because I would say they're afraid of failing,
Right.
but you say no, they're afraid
No,
of succeeding.
no, that's the go-to. It's sort of like I'm afraid of dying. No, I'm not. I'm afraid of living, because now you have to be present and you're part of the solution and you're making decisions, and there's a little more accountability to that. So I think people are more afraid of succeeding than failing.
Well, I think that people should not be afraid, especially you're doing what you started off as what was your dream.
Exactly.
You know?
Now you're amen.
Just because something is
Preacher.
going off with it right now, that's not a bad sign.
Nope. That's 100% normal. Whatever you are feeling right now as a business owner, whatever frustration, whatever tension you are feeling right now, I promise you, every business owner has felt it before.
This is good to start. We're going to do this at the end, if that's okay. The talent dynamics assessment that you do with people.
Yeah, I use two assessments. One is more neuroscience and one is a bit psychology. So it's talent dynamics, which is what is your native genius? Where are you just new in the box? What are you best? What is natural for you? Where are your gifts? In other words, things that motivate you that don't take your energy. Positive intelligence is a saboteur assessment. In what ways do you get in your own way? That's sort of your nurture. We all develop reward and sustainment practices as little kids that sometimes become sabotaging behaviors as adults. So that's designed to, again, uncover those, have an awareness conversation so that you know how you might be getting in your own way.
And they work. It does work because I did it.
It's written by a psychologist, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool at the end, and I think I'm a star or something like that.
With talent dynamics.
Yeah, with that. Yeah, I mean, it was just saying how it was very cool, how it was exactly spot on.
Yeah.
You know, so these things do work. A lot of people than that, they do.
Yeah, they work, and the reason I use the assessments that I use is because talent dynamics in particular uses the language of leadership. So it's not only who are you as a leader, it's how do you get the most out of other people who are either the same or different than you, right? How do you help them tap into their natural ability? And then also showing the benefit of why having diverse thinkers, people that are good at different things in your business, is critical. There are people that are great innovators. That's awesome. You want innovation, but you also want execution, right? You want products on time and under budget, products and services on time and under budget, and that is not on the side of talent where the innovators are.
Well, the other thing that I think I want to leave them with is you as being an executive coach. A lot of people who may not have a business like that's let's say a larger business or even a medium-sized, they think, oh, that word, that's not the person I need. No.
Yeah, one of my friends who owns a business said it really well. She said we may not resonate with the term CEO or executive, but functionally that's what you are. You know, whether you call yourself the CEO, it's still your plumbing practice, which means you are the chief executive officer. That is still what you're doing, and that's still a function that has to happen. Every business has sort of three components, right? There's operations, there's marketing, there's finance. We break it up differently, we call it different things, but functionally those three things happen in every single business.
And so it doesn't matter what size you are. Even me as a solopreneur, I've gotten a lot out of the things that I have read from the book. The book is wonderful. Because I also talk about this all the time too. Probably at the end is how I always feel like I have you right there. I love the templates. Again, everything you feel, even if you're not exactly, it's very hands-on. You feel like we're working together.
And reiterated through all that is you move through the material I show you at your own pace. You choose your own adventure, right? You want to have just a quick text question, text me. You want to email real quick with a comment, email me. You want a phone for a 5-minute, do that. I leave you lots of options all the way through all the materials, so you choose when to interact with me if you're going to interact with me.
And what I love is that he does so much away for free for you to learn. I mean, you're going to learn just by going up there onto his website and looking into this.
Yes.
It's amazing. The book only takes 23 minutes to read, but it is something that you can read over and over and over again, even over almost something a little bit every morning to jumpstart your day.
Yeah, again, small behavior changes that move your business in a positive direction, executed over time, are going to be the difference. So, you pick one section of the book, spend 6 minutes on it, or less, and start there. Right? Start there and then customize it for your business. There are lots of elements in the book, lots of elements in the academy. We purposely leave not vague, but it's an outline. It's the skeleton. It's the bone structure that's going to support what you're building, which is the human at the end, right? All people on the planet have the same 206 bones, minus injury or illness, but we all have the same 206, but no two people are identical, not even twins. So I think of business coaching the same way. There's lots of skeleton in here for you, but we're going to make it yours.
What I love is how much he does give you to give you all the ideas of what it's going to be like to work with him, right? And again, to do it at your own pace, which is also really nice, and you're not getting bombarded by anything. He just wants you to check this out so that you can see, are you right for one another?
Yeah.
It actually ends
That's
up with
first, right? You have to find somebody that you're going to have the right chemistry with. And from time to time, I mean, we'll know pretty quick if we are going to have any sort of chemistry to work together, and then we can move on to the bigger questions about what can we accomplish together.
And anybody, no matter what size your business is, you will love that you went onto his website and checked this all out. Again, it's makingthecut.biz. I'll repeat it. It's makingthecut.biz. Now you're going to see that the Academy costs money, but it won't if you call me. So our number here is 602-277-5369. You're going to get that Academy from me, and you're going to love it that you did it. Again, 602-277-5369. It's makingthecut.biz.